Welcome to the Waterfront Way. I'm Terressa Stark, your home navigator. I've been a realtor for 15 years and I specialize in South Florida's waterfront lifestyle. My husband and I enjoy boating, fishing, and socializing along the waterways, and I love to share this lifestyle with everyone we meet. I'm also a certified luxury home specialist. This webcast is designed to promote living, giving, and playing the waterfront way. Today, our guest is Krzemien, one of the broker owners of Remax Experience and Remax Experience by the Sea. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. So let's tackle living first. If someone were to ask you, what is your favorite area or place to live in our city, where would you say?
I would actually recommend Pompano Beach, the Pompano Isles, Cypress Harbor area. As far as Fort Lauderdale is concerned, they call us the Venice of America. Pompano is really undervalued as far as I'm concerned, and they're redoing a whole stretch of the Pompano corridor down Atlantic Boulevard all the way to the beach that the city's spending billions of dollars renovating and replenishing. The beach was just done. Beautiful park was put in right at A1A and Atlantic Boulevard, as well as a new fishing pier, new restaurants. And as far as those waterfront communities, Cypress Harbor, Pompano Isles, and the like, they are really undervalued for prices here in Broward County. You could really get a gorgeous house on the water just north of 500,000 all the way up to $1 million. I saw Trey on your last show talking about Lighthouse Point. Lighthouse Point prices, $1 million plus. You come down a little way right between Fort Lauderdale and Lighthouse, and you've got Pompano Beach, and the prices are really affordable for a generous sized single family home on a navigable waterway that'll take you right out to the ocean.
Terrific. And those homes are, as you say, waterfront with no fixed bridges, which is very important in our community, isn't it?
It is quite important. Some of those areas do have fixed bridges, but the bridges are pretty high, so you could have a substantial sized boat back there depending on your draft.
Now on to giving. We have so many different charities and organizations within our communities that really spread out their goodwill. If you were to pick just one, which is your favorite, and what can you tell us about it?
One of the agents in our office actually helped start a charity called the Pet Project. It's something that's near and dear to my heart because I've rescued animals in the past. I'm a big animal lover, and what they do is they're a 501c3 charity that collects money for people that are elderly or maybe have some health issues that they can no longer either afford to feed their pet, pay for a pet sitter or a dog walker, or they just don't have the ability to walk the dogs themselves. The Pet Project will actually hold fundraisers, bowling events, all kinds of events around the city to help and raise money. And that money goes to buy pet food, pay for dog walkers, pet sitters, pay for vet care for people that either are too sick to take care of those pets themselves or just too old or simply can't afford it. And instead of those pets having to go to a shelter or be rehomed or adopted out, somebody who's having failing health, I think the last thing that they really want is for their pet to not be by their side. So I think it's a great charity. It's something that most people wouldn't think would be an issue that needed to be addressed, but they certainly have done a really good job with the Pet Project.
That is such a thoughtful charity itself. And we all know that so many of our communities here, especially in the condominiums now, are allowing more pets. And they recognize that people need to have their pets with them and that they are an important aspect of our lives.
Yeah, they're members of our family.
Yes, they sure are. So now on to playing and one of our favorite topics. What do you like to do along the waterfront when you're not working?
I tried paddleboarding. Didn't work out very well for me. So I ended up buying myself a new boat, and I've really, really fallen in love with our city. Like I said before, they call it the Venice of America. There are so many navigable waterways here. It's great just to get out on the boat with some friends, have a little happy hour cruise in the evening, or spend a day, somewhere like Lake Boca. right at the Boca Inlet. There's a beautiful sandbar there. If you get in there when the tide's coming in, you've got gorgeous crystal clear water. You could jump off the boat in knee-deep white sand on the sandbar there in the Boca Inlet, so you could spend a whole day just basking in the sun. Or if you want to have a little bit of an adventure right at the inlet, you could head straight out to the ocean, do some serious fishing. I have, caught some big sailfish out there on my boat, which was quite exciting. And
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. I hear what I was supposed to do was jump in the water on my first one, but we actually caught a shark right afterwards. So not happening that day. So I guess I owe the ocean one. Need to jump in next time. But yeah, if you don't want to go out, if the weather happens to be not the greatest on that day, you could always head for a cruise down the New River through downtown Fort Lauderdale. There's tons of bars and restaurants to hit along the way. It's really nice to get out on the water any chance I can. I absolutely do it.
Terrific. And do you have a favorite drink that you like to prepare or have?
You know what? I'm kind of just a beer guy. You know what? Funky Buddha's got some great stuff right now. There was one beer that I just tried a few months back called the Floridian. That it's local. It comes right out of Oakland Park. They brew it right here. And Funky Buddha is actually a nice spot to go and check out. They've got some good tapas, tons and tons of beers on tap. They do things seasonally. So I think at any given time when you walk in there, they've got 10, 15 different kinds of beer that they've brewed on site on tap. And once that keg is gone, that's gone. That's it that you see for the season. So you've got to wait until, same time next year before they come back out with it again. So it's definitely an interesting spot to hit in the summertime.
What are some of your favorite restaurants and your favorite dishes that you like to enjoy while out on the water?
As far as favorite restaurants are concerned, I would definitely say Blue Moon Fish Company right at Commercial Boulevard and the Intercoastal is definitely a favorite. They have one of the best Sunday brunches that you can get in town. You can get there by boat. You can moor your boat right there on a Sunday morning, get there early before all the spots are taken. But the brunch spread that the owner puts out there is absolutely incredible. It's all you can drink mimosas, beautiful charcuterie platters. And I mean, there's tons and tons to choose from. I can't even specifically say that there's a dish that I would prefer, but it's definitely one of the most beautiful brunch spreads you're going to find. And to sit out there by the water and enjoy that on a Sunday morning is just absolutely stunning.
Chris, do you have something about yourself that might surprise other people to know?
Well, one thing that I could tell you that people would be surprised to know that I don't normally share because then they ask me to sing is that back when I was much, much younger, I was actually on Canadian Idol.
Canadian Idol, and tell me about that.
Yeah, there was a friend of mine that was dying to, she was, she always wanted to be a singer, and she wanted to go and try out for Canadian Idol. And I happened to be living in Toronto, Ontario at the time. And I said, sure, you know what, I'll go and hang out with you for the day so that way you don't have to wait in these long lines by yourself. And they wouldn't let anybody into this stadium unless you were actually going to try out. So I had to register myself and get a number and walked in with her. And they called our numbers, and she went into one room and I went into another. And we both tried singing our hearts out, and she came out crying and I came out with a golden ticket.
What a terrific friend you are, Chris.
Right?
And were you able to progress?
No. They, I made it so far. I made it in front of the producers and ended up going home the same day. But yeah, it was quite an accomplishment in her mind. So that sort of turned me on to karaoke. And I said, well, hey, if I got it, I might as well flaunt it, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to hear that sometime. I'm not going to have you sing anything right now, but I want you to promise that you're going to come back on the show and come up with a Waterfront theme song for us.
I'll do that for you.
Terrific. We'd really enjoy that. Chris, tell me, how did you get started in real estate?
You know what? That's actually a funny little story because my grandfather, when I was a little child, told our whole family he's either going to be a realtor one day or he's going to be a lawyer. And I never went to law school. And I got into working in the film industry, doing set decoration for TV commercials when I was younger, which turned into a career in home staging. And then as a home stager, I was seeing the interactions that the realtors were having with the clients and the smiles that people had on their faces. And I said, you know what, this is the job for me. And I went home and I had a conversation with my family about switching careers and getting into real estate. And that's when I heard this story about my grandfather saying he's either going to be a realtor or a lawyer. So I figured, hey, that was a sign. So I went for it.
Absolutely. Maybe next on you might be, your next career might even be mayor.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad goal now, would it?
No, it wouldn't. I can definitely see you as mayor.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about REMAX?
Remax is a huge global brand, as everyone knows. We're happy that you're actually a part of it. And right now, we've got 120,000 agents worldwide in over 100 countries and territories. It really is the home of top producing agents. We have the largest market share in East Fort Lauderdale. The company culture was really built around having that top producing agent being in an environment where they could truly thrive, and they would be surrounded by other top producing agents. So we're really all about growing these realtors' businesses and doing everything that we can in order to support you guys on your mission of finding that perfect home for your buyers and sellers.
Terrific. And you want to tell us once again the name of your brokerage?
We are Remax Experience and Remax Experience by the Sea. Remax Experience is located in Wilton Manors, Florida, which is a little island city just north of Fort Lauderdale, actually almost contained inside Fort Lauderdale. And then we have another location, which is Remax Experience by the Sea, named so because it's right on the beach, right on A1A in Fort Lauderdale, right by Lauderdale by the Sea.
Chris, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It was my pleasure. If you'd like to learn more about buying or selling your luxury home in South Florida, my personal information is on your screen. Visit teressastarkauthor.com to download one of my free ebooks, or teressastarkrealtor.com to get immediate access to my calendar and book a private consultation at a time that's convenient for you. That's Teressa with 2 R's and 2 S's. Until next time, live, give, and play the Waterfront way.